When you think about it, Antarctica is really nothing more than a sheet of ice floating on the sea. It is also the coldest place on Earth. The average temperature of the region is minus 55 degrees. So why have these ice masses been fascinating us for years? What could possibly be happening in this white world? If you are ready to explore, grab your coats. Our first stop is Antarctica. Stranded spaceship. These exciting images show a spaceship that could belong to aliens crashed in Antarctica. Let us tell you before you ask. No, unfortunately, this is not solid proof of the existence of aliens. Yet the photo made quite a noise worldwide. The image belongs to a small island in Antarctica, and the first thing that comes to mind is that this is a UFO crash. Sadly, researchers soon explained that the event in the photo occurred as a result of an avalanche that ejected a large piece of ice and crashed into the ice. A rainforest among the ice. When we think of Antarctica, the images that come to mind are pretty clear. In this endless area made up of massive snow and ice masses, it's hard to believe there was life at one time, let alone a fully grown green forest. As incredible as it may seem, about 90 million years ago, that's exactly what Antarctica looked like. During the Cretaceous period, Antarctica was covered in lush vegetation. This also means that the temperatures were much warmer than previously thought. Research following the discovery found evidence of more than 65 different plant species. Do you think Antarctica will return to its former state? Ghost mountains. The Gamburtsev Mountains were frozen under the dense ice masses of Antarctica. Now the mountains are slowly thawing and their peaks are emerging. These cracks, about 250 million years old, are part of a rift caused by tectonic movements. The landmass that formed today's India, Africa, Australia, and East Antarctica was then called Gondwana. Researchers said exploring the mountain range is like discovering another planet, and it is extremely difficult to understand compared to other mountains in the world. Traces of ancient civilization. As the ice sheets of Antarctica continue to melt, researchers uncovered something they never thought possible. The melting snow revealed the remnants of a village-like settlement on the desolate continent. Believed to be about 4,000 years old, the settlement became the first evidence of life in Antarctica. Archaeologists who found the remnants described it as a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, and they are indeed right. One of the archaeologists even said that Noah's Ark is nothing compared to the information gained here. Researchers also noted a detailed depiction of the region in the world map, drawn by Piri Reis in the 1500s. A rare piece A. Elch, 84001. Encountering meteorites from Mars is not an everyday occurrence. A Mars meteorite striking Antarctica is a real treasure. Allen Hills 84001 is a piece of meteorite found in the Allen Hills ice sheet in Antarctica in 1984. A few years after the discovery, researchers announced that they found bacteria in the meteorite. This meant that organisms lived on Mars and there could be life there. President Bill Clinton announced the finding to the American people. One of the most intriguing things about this discovery is that the piece of meteorite had separated from Mars 7,300 years of smile. In this historical artifact, you can see a smile that's a full 7,300 years old. Archaeologists say the statue was found among 600 pieces of pottery excavated from a Neolithic site in China's Anhui province in 1985. While the rest of the items are believed to be kitchenware bearing various symbols, believed to be the origin of the Chinese alphabet, the purpose of this statue and why it's the only one of its kind is unknown. Made from soil containing mica dust and quartz, the statue bore marks that archaeologists interpreted as sun symbols. Measuring 6.5 centimeters in height and width, the find became the oldest example of this type of pottery found in China. 100-year-old whiskey. You might have heard about the intricacies in consuming products like whiskey and wine. They say the longer the alcohol is aged, the stronger the flavor. For instance, a barrel of whiskey should be stored for at least 3 years to develop its taste. A discovery in Antarctica caught the attention of New Zealand museum workers. Researchers found a crate of whiskey that had been under the ice for over a century. Likely, British explorer Ernest Shackleton had other plans for the whiskey during his Antarctic expedition in 1908. Iguana. The origins of Peru's ancient Moche civilization date back even before the Incas. Existing between the 1st and 8th centuries, the Moche is one of the most significant communities in Peru's history. In this culture, the iguana held a very special place, being considered a companion of the sky god. In the 1980s, archaeologists began to extensively study the Moche civilization. The iguana carried on the head of the sky god figure, found on many ceramic vessels, attracted significant attention. Through wall paintings and other discoveries, it was understood that the society worshipped a sky god named I Apace. Both the sky god and the iguana were depicted in various poses, with fascinating details being considered as creators in representations. 300,000-year-old elephant skeleton. Researchers from the University of Tübingen discovered an elephant fossil during excavations in Groningen. The complete discovery of the approximately 300,000-year-old skeleton allowed for easy determination of the elephant's size. It was an elephant weighing about 6.8 tons and standing 3.2 meters tall. Researchers were astonished that the female elephant was significantly larger than modern African elephants, and they marveled at its tusks, which were 2.3 meters long. After extensive research, they determined that the elephant likely died of old age. Sea monster. You've heard of the Loch Ness Monster. There's a similar ancient monster in Antarctica. The difference is that the Antarctic sea monster really did exist. The fossil, 11 meters long and weighing 15 tons, is the largest example found by researchers. This creature, called a plesiosaur, is believed to have gone extinct along with the dinosaurs. Unusual cat mummy. If you love cats, you will adore these ancient Egyptian cat mummies. In 2017, one of these mummies attracted attention and was taken for close examination. Dated to the 5th century BC, the mummy was quite special because this cat had 3 tails and 5 legs. Thanks to modern technology, it was possible to examine the mummy without damaging it. This extraordinary cat caused a lot of debate. Some scientists suggested that Egyptian priests made extraordinary mummies to sell to pilgrims. Scans showed that the linen wrappings did not always reflect the true content, and the mummy was made up of the remains of several cats. If you want to take a closer look at this find, you can seize the opportunity to see it at the Museum of Fine Arts in France. 2,100-year-old smartphone. A team of archaeologists discovered an extraordinary 137-year-old smartphone buried with a young woman in a gravesite referred to as Russia's Atlantis. According to statements, a fashion enthusiast nicknamed Natasha, aged 2100, was discovered after a large reservoir was emptied in the summer season. The burial site dates back to the Hung Empire, a large nomadic nation that ruled these lands from the 3rd century BC to the late 1st century AD. Although the found artifact astonishingly resembles a smartphone, it was actually made of black jetstone and adorned with precious stones. Upon examination, it was suggested that the object might have been used as a belt buckle. Giant sea spiders. One of the intriguing things found in Antarctica is the sea spiders. These creatures have long legs and a small body that can better withstand the cold. Additionally, they don't need to breathe. They absorb oxygen through their skin and pump blood through their intestines. These strange little creatures grow so quickly and large that the length of their legs can reach the diameter of a standard dinner plate. Along with this, sea spiders feed by sticking their proboscis into other animals. In summary, these Antarctic spiders are not creatures we would want to encounter. Stone altars. Historic stone altars have been discovered in the Milano forest near the village of Bomarzo, known for Italy's Renaissance gardens. These were massive volcanic stone altars made by the Etruscans. The altars were carved with remarkably complex details. 2 of them are mysterious cube-shaped altars. Additionally, you can see a rock carved into the shape of stairs. Moreover, some of these small altars were converted into tombs by the Romans over time. During these periods, They engraved inscriptions and decorations on the stones. For example, on the cube-shaped altar, there is an inscription indicating the main directions. Some scientists have suggested that the altars were used for religious ceremonies and astronomical observations. If you have the opportunity to visit the forest near Bamarzo village, besides what we have narrated, you will find many things to explore. Mysterious pit. In 1970 in Antarctica, the ground literally split open. You heard it right. The emerging bottomless, gigantic hole left researchers baffled. The real mysterious part was the hole disappearing as quickly as it appeared. About 50 years later, the massive hole was seen again in the middle of the Weddell Sea, the largest of the separate seas. The size of the hole was about 90,000 square kilometers. It was understood to be a polynya, a body of water that appears in regions like Antarctica. A polynya can reach an area of a few thousand square kilometers and is literally a passage between the sky and the sea. The energy produced in the divided region has the power to even affect the regional climate. Graveyard of ice. In 1985, a skull belonging to a Chilean woman was found on the Yamana coast of South Antarctica. The skull was the oldest human remains ever found in Antarctica. Although no evidence could explain why the Chilean woman in her 20s was in Antarctica, she is believed to have died around 1820. Antarctica has been a place where countless explorers, like the young woman, have lost their lives over the years. It is unknown how many people are buried in this desolate graveyard under the ice. Now that we have roamed enough in the white deserts, we can turn our attention to different parts of the world. It's time to take off our coats and put on our straw hats. Egypt, Mexico, Peru, and many more places are waiting for us. Feminism in ancient times. Tamtoc is one of the few ancient Mexican capitals that is well preserved enough to offer us fascinating information about its history. The city saw its zenith around AD 300, but findings indicate that the settlement dates back to as early as 600 BC. So far, only small portions of the ancient city have been excavated. Nevertheless, a central square and ceremonial areas have clearly emerged. Looking at the many stone monuments and statues found, feminism was a significant issue for society. It was noted that the human remains found were predominantly female. Additionally, the stone monuments mostly consisted of female depictions. It was also noticed that male statues were depicted with large genitals. One of the most special artifacts in the area is the Tamtoc Venus, which can be seen today at the Those who push the limits? Researchers have encountered a previously undiscovered species of tardigrade, a rare kind not seen this far south before. Also known as water bears, tardigrades are microscopic animals that thrive in extremely harsh conditions. They can withstand extreme cold, heat, pressure, radiation, and dehydration, even surviving in the vacuum of space. These tiny creatures, ranging in size from 0.5 mm to 1.2 mm, are found in various environments from mountaintops to ocean depths, from glaciers to deserts. They have adapted exceptionally well to almost every environment on Earth. These resilient beings seem to have no alien mummies. In this historical artifact, you can see a smile that's a full 7,300 years old. Archaeologists say the statue was found among 600 pieces of pottery excavated from a Neolithic site in China's Anhui province in 1985. While the rest of the items are believed to be kitchenware bearing various symbols, believed to be the origin of the Chinese alphabet, the purpose of this statue and why it's the only one of its kind is unknown. Made from soil containing mica dust and quartz, the statue bore marks that archaeologists interpreted as sun symbols. Measuring 6.5 centimeters in height and width, the find became the oldest example of this type of pottery found in China. The mystery of the Bloody Waterfall. This waterfall, named for its reddish color, has kept its mystery for many years. The strange formation was discovered as early as 1911, but its true origin was only recently revealed with the help of radar. Researchers analyzing the ice layers noticed that the red color is caused by iron-rich salty water. They pointed out that the salty water stays liquid around the waterfall, partly due to its increased salt content, making the ice appear to be bleeding. Dinosaur ruins. An international research journal made an incredible discovery. The evolution process of birds and crocodiles spanning thousands of years is not new to us. On the other hand, the discovery of a teleocrator, nearly 2 meters in length and seemingly resembling a crocodile, is undoubtedly new. Along with this, it was noticed that the creature walked on 4 legs. This was a distinguishing feature that set it apart from its descendants. What made the teleocrator even more special was the evidence found proving it lived in the freezing cold of Antarctica. Green mask. Mexico's archaeological sites hold great historical significance. These areas allow researchers to gain insight into the history of South America and many indigenous cultures. Undoubtedly, Teotihuacan is one of the most special places in this region. The massive pyramid is not just a great mystery for experts, but also a starting point for research and excavation. In the 1930s, archaeologists managed to dig a tunnel that could reach the foundations of the pyramid. In the lower levels, numerous treasures, including obsidian, which played a significant role in the culture, were found. Moreover, a discovered green mask still stands out today. The artifact looks not only wonderful but also realistic. Archaeologists speculated that it could even be a portrait. Another room was discovered inside the structure recently, and it awaits the day to be opened along with the treasures inside.